And greetings once again, primitive Earth humans. Welcome back to Sky Factory 2.4. Okay, so, let's see. Yeah, we came back from the moon, and we've established our spawn point over there with our advanced ender porter. And as it is right now, we've got our advanced ender porter with 4 crystals in it. I don't know how to gain access to these other ones. I think we have to put some kind of module in here. We can take a look at ender utilities. I don't see any kind of, this is pretty much everything it has. I don't know, ender cores. Maybe we can put those. Right click an ender crystal to activate in the end. So I don't know how we enable the rest of them. So we'll just have to make a whole bunch more of these ender porters, I guess. Yep, don't know. The mod is a work in progress. So I imagine there's a lot left for the modder to do to add more features to it. But as of now, I guess we can only have 4 locations stored in each of our ender porters. So that's okay. With each one, we'll probably just use the same 4. We'll use the overworld. We'll use the end. We'll use, maybe our space station we won't need to. We can use the end and home, and we can store 2 other locations in each of those. But anyway, let's see. Let's sit in our little chair here and replenish all of our health. And since we've just been to the moon, used up a little bit of oxygen, let's go ahead and refill our oxygen tanks. Oh, and one other thing you may have noticed real quick, I've gone ahead and crafted up some thermal padding. This is another part of Galacticraft. We'll take a look at that. This comes into play on certain planets where there's, heat hazards there, like particularly Mars. When you travel to Mars, you will just immediately start losing health once you land on the planet. I think unless you go pretty deep underground, unless you are wearing the thermal padding. So, pretty simple recipe to make. Let's see, oops. We can take a look at it's all made with this thermal cloth here. And it's just, some wool and some redstone, makes a piece of cloth. I, crafted up a full stack of it. Of course, way more than I needed to, but yeah, who cares? I got plenty of resources there. So, that's another thing you want to have on, and you could wear it underneath your armor and everything else. So, don't forget to do that before you go to Mars. Let's charge up our other oxygen tank here. And let's see, I think we want some glass before we go back to the moon. Let's just grab 4 stacks of this stuff. Useful for all kinds of things. We've got also a few other things we needed. Sealable blocks for Galacticraft. And particularly, not so much the wire ones. That lets you run energy carrying wires through there. We want the oxygen pipe ones. There's a copper cable, gold cable, HV heavy cable. Most of the rest of these glass fiber, I'm not sure if that is for applied energistics or probably. We don't really care about any of these ones that carry energy conduit, because we're going to use our Ender IO conduits, and we will just use facades. So, but we do want a bunch of these oxygen pipe ones. I think we need a bunch of these tin decoration blocks. And let's see. Let's make a stack of those. And I think I'm just going to grab maybe 16 of them. Perhaps we'll do like a half a stack, 32. we'll just use up that whole stack of shit we just crafted up there. Okay, and let's see, I think the other thing we want to do is make some facades. So let's see, how many of these do we have? Let's make up a whole stack of like conduit facades. Let's see, storable, craftable. Let's see, I thought we had a recipe for that in here. We really should. Perhaps we need the binder. We've got plenty of binder. Yeah, let's see. You know, maybe we don't have a recipe for it, but it's not like we need it. So, okay, we've got a bunch of those. And I think what we'll do is we'll get rid of this stone here. We'll make maybe 16 of the floor type ones. And while we're waiting for those to do their thing, we will pop our oxygen tank back in its spot there. We'll grab our other one up and install that as well. And grab ourselves a... Oops. No, don't want to rename our backpack at the moment. Grab a couple of apples. Chomp on down on the putrid, disgusting human food of the non-slimy variety. Yeah, let's see. We'll switch this out for just this blank tin block here. And throw 16 in of those. And we'll put the rest of these facades away. We'll grab up these here conduit facades. I think I'd like to make a tesseract or two. So, let's see. First we gotta make the frames. We'll grab a couple of those guys. The filter, let's see. I think then we just need to fill them, so, grab some ender pearls here. I think we just need 4 each. And we'll put our frames in our fluid transposer. Throw these ender pearls in there. These guys should be done. Now, let's see. Decorated tin block. Yeah, that's the one we want. Okay. Yeah, so now, let's see. We'll put these items in our space backpack. And let's see, we can throw this stone back in there. I don't even know why we had that in our inventory. Glowstone torch. We can put our regular torches away. One of the very strange things that happens when you go with normal torches to a moon dimension or something like that, it converts your normal torches into Galacticraft torches for some strange reason. And it's just a torch. See, now that we've selected them, they've switched back to normal torches. I think it's because there's of course, in order to make regular torches not work in a no oxygen environment, they had to switch that out with a different sort of item type. But once we are back in a world that does have an atmosphere and we select that, it switches back to normal Minecraft torches. So, it's strange how this chest does not want to close for us. Okay, whatever. Weirdness. And what do we got? Bunch of crap. What's all this stuff doing in here? Probably leftover weirdness from when we moved our game over. So, yeah, let's throw this stuff in the sorting chest here and let those go back to where they're supposed to go. So, we've got our tesseract frames. They're filled, and now all we've got to do is craft them into a proper tesseract. And there we go. Oops, I guess we can't stack them once they're completed Tesseract. So back to our space backpack. Throw those guys in there. And that way we can get rid of all that, you know, conduit that we've got going from our roof to our floor in our moon dimension. Let's grab this partially filled fuel tank here and our fuel canister, whatever they call it, and we'll dump that in there because we've already got our drum with 29 buckets of fuel in there. Yeah, let's see, how are we doing on our fuel production down here? We've got another 22 buckets of fuel because our cow up there is producing oil, and that's continuing to be processed for us. And yeah, let's see. Should be anyway. I think, yeah, we don't really have to worry about that. So let's see, I think now we can probably go back to the moon. Got glowstone torches there. We've left a whole bunch more on the moon. And let's see, we've got our tesseracts, we've got our facades, energy conduit, whole bunch of stuff we really, you know, don't need so much. I just wanted to bring some glass with us. Oh, yes, one more thing. Yes, the most important thing. Almost forgot. Our cryogenic sleep chamber. And let's see, yeah, this is another Galacticraft goodie here. Pretty cool little machine. Let's see, first we need to make ourselves a bed. I'm gonna make 2 of these guys, because it's cool. Let's see. Heavy duty plate. Oh, and we can't actually make it yet because we need the compressed meteoric iron. In order to get that, we've got to find some raw meteoric iron on the moon. So, but, okay, so we'll do that after we've collected some, resources on the moon, but, we do want fences, and a bunch of them. So I'm gonna craft, geez, let's see, maybe 200 of these guys. Because we need to fence the crap out of our base up there on the moon before nighttime falls. And like I mentioned in the last episode, I know in the real world, the moon pretty much, it does rotate, but it rotates at such a slow rate that pretty much one side of the moon always faces the earth. So there's always, you know, one side of the moon that's light and one side that's dark. In Galacticraft, they didn't really do it that way. They gave it a day-night cycle, which isn't really all that realistic, but, you know, hey, who cares? You gotta have at least the fun of having a day-night cycle so you can have darkness and scary monsters coming out at night and messing with you. So we have a day-night cycle on the moon in Minecraft, but, you know, it's Minecraft. It's a different type of dimension type thing, so let's see, you know, I think what I'm gonna do is craft up 200 more of these. Let's see if we can get it to do it. Come on. Oh, what happened here? And all of a sudden we can't craft that anymore. What has happened to our recipe? Let's go check down below and see what's going on. And where is it? It's right there. Okay. Oops. Here we go. Craft 200 of these. There we go. Like I say, sometimes the crafting, auto-crafting will get stuck when you have an applied energistic system connected to any type of storage that also has Ender.io storing items in it. And that has to do with the fact that The applied energistic system has to be able to read the amounts of items that are in, item storage, and if they're changing at the moment that you try to run a crafting recipe, it will, kind of hang up the system there. So, let's see. Grab these guys up. Can't have too many of these things, so, when you go to the moon, and, you have those big, ginormous villages to, encircle with the fences to keep the monsters out. It's not going to do us any good with things like spiders and things like that, I don't think. Or it may, who knows. Anyway, I think we're all ready to go. Make sure we've got our oxygen tanks. Yeah, we're good to go. We will switch this to the moon, and let's head on back. Now, between episodes, I've already gone to the end and recharged our advanced interporter. And swing-a-ding-ding, we are back on the moon. So, okay. Whoa, yeah. Love the zero gravity stuff here. So, right now, let's put a lot of this stuff away. Grab out all of our goodies that we're going to be using, some facades. And, we'll grab a stack of glass. And, first thing I think we can do here is we can get rid of these guys. And replace this all with the sealable oxygen pipe blocks. Make things look a little bit more normal in here. And there we go. And this stuff should all still be working just fine. We will grab a couple of these guys here, these facades, and fill that up for now. In fact, I think we have, of course, what we're going to do. Hold on, let's pull these guys up real quick. Because what I was going to do here was place this with the Tesseract. And let's see. Let's create, I don't think this is going to work across dimensions, so we're going to create a whole new channel for it. We'll call it 88. Let's see, try that again, 88. And we will name it Moon. Energy and items. And gravy. So we are energy, send, receive. And we won't worry about these other channels right now, because this is the only thing we have going is the energy here. So, let's see. Let's switch to our Yetta wrench. Maybe make this go a little quicker. Gather up this stuff. Now we don't have that ugly line running down here anymore. And let's see. I don't know if we've got to put a conduit here, or if we can just go ahead and connect this. Receive, receive, receive. And let's see. The way I suppose we find out is we just break this block. Set it down. Okay, yes. The energy is cleared from it. And we'll spin that guy back around. And it is receiving energy. How about our oxygen? Yeah, it looks like our oxygen energy is coming back up as well. So, yeah, as we can see, our bubble is maintaining. So, groovy. Throw a facade down there. And that makes our space a little bit more easier to deal with here. So, okay. Now let's throw some glass in the walls here. Make ourselves some windows. Break some of this stuff out here. Make a nice big window over here. So we can see what the hell be going on outside. Now, the thing with Galacticraft 2 is, they're in the config files, you can add blocks to the configs as far as like what is sealable blocks and things like that. Let's see. Put another row up here. So if you want to have certain blocks, like I've altered my config file so that, for instance, wooden doors have become a sealable block. So that way, if I, whoops, hate to have to break that, but you know, that way if you want to, you know, basically make a sealable area instead of using the bubble distributor, you can use the actual oxygen sealer instead. And place an airlock, which eventually we'll do. We'll put proper Galacticraft airlocks over, you know, in our doorway here. And we'll just seal this whole entire space up, so we don't have to deal with the big ugly bubble out there. Oh boy, these guys are annoying. I should have brought, you know, some jailer's nets or something so I can pick these guys up and move them. Because they are noisy little bastards. I don't want to kill them, but, well, they're annoying enough to be kill-worthy, but we're trying to be a nice guy. Let's put a couple of windows over here. Let's see what's going on outside. And so, okay, groovy. Got that now. Why don't we take and we'll put some of this stuff away. Put our glass in there, these conduit facades, and sure, all of this stuff. Might as well put these torches in there. And before we get nighttime. Oh. And we're getting pretty close to nighttime showing up. So I think it's probably good a time as any to try to fence in this entire village. Hopefully we brought enough of these things with us. And you know, also kind of light the place up so we can keep the monsters out, because as soon as that sun goes down, this place is going to fill up with monsters. So I guess we will start, might as well start right about here. And I'll probably cut away, do a lot of this off camera. Okay, and now we should be fairly well protected right now. As we can see, we've got big, ginormous line of fence running around our entire moon village here. And I think the days are fairly slow in the Galacticraft world anyway. But one other thing we definitely want to make sure that we do is that we light everything up. And it seems like no matter what you do anyway, you're always going to get, you know, a few mobs getting inside your moon base anyway. So let's start lighting things up. We'll hit F7 here. And I don't know if it's even going to let us see our lighting. But we'll just start throwing some torches down. Try to light things up. It's good to throw a couple torches up on the corners of these here too, so because you end up with some dark spots here and there. You know, right about that block right there should light pretty much everything up. Throw one at the top. And yeah, our F7 is not showing us our lighting levels. I wonder if that has something to do with the updated mod pack here. Could be, who knows. So light everything up real good. And as we can hear with the music there, that we're getting close to some kind of nighttime sort of thing. And yeah, definitely want to light things up here too. Especially since this is our home. Home away from home, home on the moon. Yes. And I suppose at some point, you know, we'll put doors on all of these little moon houses here. We can kind of sort of see, you know, what looks dark here and there, but I'm just gonna have to guess it since our F7 is not showing us light levels. We'll just throw torches freaking everywhere. Hope we light things up well enough. I think these glowstone torches for the most part do provide quite a bit of light. Throw one down in the middle of each of these. Yeah, let's see, we'll put one there. Torches everywhere. Maybe we'll throw a couple on the fences here. And we can see it is starting to get dark. And creepers are the worst things to have problems with here in a Galacticraft moon base. Especially when you spend a whole lot of time trying to get everything all sealed up. We're just using the oxygen bubble thing right now, so, oh boy. Out of torches. Let's get back to our house. And let's not forget which side we go in. This side. Yeah, we'll grab up the rest of our glowstone torches here. We're probably gonna use the majority of them. It's okay, we can always go back home and make more. Should be pretty well lit over here. But, yeah. Already hearing, I think that's from down underneath. We've definitely got... Oh, is there somebody in here? Don't think there is. But we've got caves down underneath. Try and hurry up here before the monsters start showing up. And light up in here. I'm gonna throw one down here. Everywhere it looks dark. You know, better not forget these spots over here. And hopefully we'll get this done in time. I think we should be pretty good. Couple more here. let's see. Yeah, we better hit these spots over here. Oh, yeah, and the roof of this place as well. That's a thing I usually forget to do. With disastrous results sometimes. Okay, a few more little spots here. And I don't know. Hopefully that's most of the dark areas here. That will hopefully keep monsters from spawning inside of our moon base. Let's take a quick look up high here and see how everything looks. Yeah, maybe this could use a little bit more over here. Couple of dark spots. Let's slap one up on the wall there. One here. How's it looking out there? Man, it sure would be nice for some meteors to fall. Aha. Here's our first customer. Did he spawn right in this area over here? Throw a torch down. And what's this? Is that a creeper? Inside our house? Oh, you little bastard, you. Yeah, great. Just what we needed. Okay. No problem. We'll kill his ass real quick. Perhaps we don't have enough light in here. Okay, well, let's fix that real quick here. Put a couple more torches in the corners here. Now let's put one down on the ground right here for now. Just in case, we'll bring some glowstone and actually glowstone this place up real good. So, okay. Come into flight mode real quick here. Let's throw a couple torches down in here. So we don't get things spawning in our trees. I think that's all of our glowstone torches at the moment. We're gonna have to go home and get more. So, and what's that? Is that a meteor? Aha, there's a few of them. And you see, yeah, you just, it takes a little while for the meteors to start falling. Sometimes you can hear them landing. Hear big boom. Collect these guys up. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Sometimes they're real hot when they first land too, so they will burn you and cause you damage. But there's 2 pieces of meteoric iron. Unfortunately, we're going to need just insane amounts of this stuff, to really get to our tier 2 rocket in order to travel to Mars. So we're going to have to spend quite a bit of time on the moon, waiting and collecting meteoric iron in order to build more stuff. So, some of that I'll do off camera, of course, so you don't want to sit here and watch me do all that shit. So, there's another moon village over there. But one thing that is kind of fortunate here, if we take a look at our map, is right close here to this village, we have ourselves a dungeon. So I've located 2 dungeons now on the moon, and one real close to our village. So I think in the next episode, we'll go ahead and go down into that dungeon and kill the shit out of everything in there. Kill the living bejesus out of the creeper boss, and we'll get ourselves a schematic, hopefully, see, dang, creepers. We'll get the schematic, I think, to our, tier 2 rocket. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a little bit better job lighting this up. Yeah, see, this zombie now, he thinks that door is open. Which is why he's not slamming and pounding on it. Who else is defiling our base over here? I hear spiders. just gotta look in between those trees there. Who dat? Oh, you? You want some? Eat that, sucker. And creepers, yeah, we're definitely gonna have to light the inside of these places much, much better. Oh, we'll get a record out of that. Eh? Let me in, let me in. They don't seem to bother the villagers. Did we get a record? No, we didn't. Supposed to get a record when creepers get shot with arrows. Yeah, and I like how they all have their own little oxygen supplies and helmets. I don't know where freaky moon mobs get access to such equipment. But anyway, that's Galacticraft. So, let's grab these orbs. Kill these guys. Anybody else in there? Messing with my moon buddies? You. Haha. Guess all this lighting isn't even enough. So let's head back into our house. While we can, while it is unoccupied by mobs. And I think we'll could just call it an episode here. Let's munch on some delicious, tasty worms. And we'll go back to Earth, or the overworld, and grab some more supplies, bring it back here, and we'll continue hunting down meteors, gathering resources, and prepare ourselves to go into that dungeon and kill a bunch of mobs, kill the creeper boss, and get ourselves a schematic. So, if you enjoyed this episode, please do remember to rate, comment, share, and subscribe, and always obey your alien overlords, or you will be probed in the bomb, like this guy is about to. Once again, this is AlienPet13, signing off. Probe you later.